Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm thrilled that you're joining today, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast platform. Okay, I'm super excited today, everyone, because I have someone as a guest that I admire her products so much. They're in almost every room in my home, and I've talked about her before, her bedding. I have got as my guest Sandra Hernandez Yedor, the founder and president of my favorite bedding, Lili Alessandra. Sandra, thank you for taking time out of your very busy day to be on the SavvyCast.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I really am. I love your whole approach, and I love the last podcast that you did. So I thought this was perfect.
Well, you are so kind. And Sandra, I will just say I have done probably 2 or 3 remodels or updates to my home. I mean, Zane and I are mid-50s, and we've lived in the same house for over 20 years. So in the course of all of that, I've shopped a lot of bedding, and that is not a small expense. Yeah. And it's something that you want to be both beautiful and practical. And I have just found that you have hit every angle, every single angle. And I want to get into all of that. But first, I almost forgot my icebreaker question.
Okay.
That is, I ask all of my guests this: what would you choose as your last meal?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I am actually tomorrow leaving for a trip to Europe. I'm going to Paris. So I'm going to dream as if I were in Paris all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of design week, fashion week, which I've never done. 4 amazing girlfriends that are in the industry and are also amazingly creative. So I'm going to say a Parisian meal with champagne and everything and all the works, just because that's what's on my mind right now. Can't go through that.
That is wonderful. That sounds wonderful. So, well, we are going to dive right in. Now, Sandra, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live? Where's your wonderful facility? Just give us an overview.
So I'm a native born San Antonian. I've been in Texas all of my career. I've lived in Dallas. I've lived in Houston. I was born and raised, went to school in San Antonio. And I've come back home. I've been home for a while. And I have had many journeys in my life, but I created Lili Alessandra really much later in life. So San Antonio became home base. We started, out of my house. We started very, very small. It was kind of flipping a different career for me. And we've just grown. So we ship everything out of San Antonio. We ship all over the world, predominantly the United States. And as you can see, this is my little design space. It's kind of neat right now. Usually it's got fabrics everywhere. And if you go into the next room, there's just gobbles of different fabrics. And that's how it all sort of starts. Uh-huh. So I'm in San Antonio. My customer service department is just around in the next room. Oh. And we have a small boutique here, and then you go right into the warehouse. So it's all based in this corporate world here.
Okay. So San Antonio, your facility there, you have a showroom that people can actually go in and shop?
Yes, I do. It's a small boutique, actually. Yes, but we have customers that pop in all the time. A lot of interior designers pop in because they can get their samples and kind of pull the bed together, and then they go present it to their customers. But we have a lot of the end consumer as well. So we don't even advertise the boutique because I always wanted to have it just for that purpose. The ladies follow us and they find us.
Oh, yes. A lady can find who she wants to find.
Exactly.
Now, are there other boutique facilities anywhere else?
So we then sell, we have our predominant business is to the trade. So we sell to boutiques and a lot of big online companies all over the country. So we're like in Houston in 4 or 5 different shops. People would know we're in shops all over the country. They're predominantly lifestyle stores, which is really, I think, the most interesting because they have everything. You walk in, they have they have everything for the house, not just the bedroom, right?
Right.
Many times we are in a true linen store, and then that's also very, very fun. So it's different ways depending on the depending on the area. We also sell to a lot of interior designers all over the country. We sell online. We are strong with Neiman Marcus. They were actually one of the first to help us get started. We've been with them for years.
Mhm.
We have launched with Bloomingdale's and Saks Fifth Avenue, and then there's other online companies that we're available with.
Okay, that's one thing I love about how you do business. I think too, the trade is fine, but I think it's wonderful because not everyone in every part of the world can have a designer. And to be able to go online or to go into a local, and I know there's several fabulous places that I shop here in Birmingham that do carry your line, but I think it's wonderful that you're available in so many different platforms. I think
Thank you.
that's
Thank
great.
you. And Jamie, I don't know if you know this real quick, but we do consultation on the phone with customers all day long. So many customers call us and say, I need help. And my girls will say, we can text it. You can send it by email. Send me images of your space. Show me your bedroom. Show me your colors. And then tell me what you love. And then the girls actually go to the back boutique. We put a bed together. We photograph it and we help them create it. We do that all the time. It's really fun. My girls love it. And then customers are they're really happy because now they've got the whole complete space look. And they'll call back. Oh my God, I'm ready to do the next bedroom. So it's kind of fun.
That is fabulous. So that is a free service that you offer.
It is. We do that all day long, all day long. It's personal. We call it design consultation, and many of our customers take advantage. Even our designers will say, okay, this is the space. These are the colors, put something together, shoot me some images, and we do, and they go, okay, done, let's go.
Oh my goodness. That is huge. Because one of the things I was going to ask and get you to explain is how you put all of the bed together. It is such an art and it's such a skill. And the fact that you have that, my goodness, if I didn't already have all of my linens summer and winter, I would be calling and sending you all pictures because that's wonderful.
It is, it's fun. And my girls it's like you're intimately involved with the customers. I mean, they tell you kind of get to know them, right? And they tell you about the rug and the art piece, the reason why they have certain things in their room, and how do we put those colors together. So no, it's fun. The girls love it. They're very good at it. And it kind of just keeps the creative juices going, so it's fun. It's good for everybody.
So you are actually dedicated to building actual relationships with your customers. So I'm sure they come back every time they need it. So it's a relationship. I think that's wonderful. Now, what do you sell besides the bedding?
So it's the bedding being we do bed sheets. We start from the very base. We do the bed sheets, beautiful bed sheets that we have. And then we do all of our quilted pieces. And then sort of what we're known for is what I call the icing on the cake, which is those decorative pillows. They're all handmade and throws. We also sell drapery panels. So if you need to kind of accent, we have drapery panels on the line. I have a limited edition, if you will, of our own rug line, which is beautiful, beautiful. It's our designs. We started it really in the middle of COVID. So it's kind of still in the infancy stage, but we have beautiful rugs that we accent. And the thing that people really like on our line, other than linens, is our bed frames. I don't know if you've seen them in the shots, but they're large. They're made in the States. They're extremely well made. And we do them very simple, clean lines, but you can put like a white basket weave on it, or a white linen, or a velvet. And it's we offer it in a king and a queen. As many times we offer it with the rails, because you mentioned bed skirts. When you have that rail, you don't need that bed skirt anymore. So anyway, we show that a lot in all of our shots because it's kind of a soft, it's a little bit more modern look.
And how high are your headboards? Do you have an option?
You do. We make them big. I always tell everybody we're from Texas, so everything is big here. The way we designed it initially was 70 inches tall. That's
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
I have a 66 inch. I custom designed it. I didn't know that you did that, or I definitely would have checked with you because I already had all of your bedding. But 66 is exquisite, but 70 is even better.
High.
So
Yeah,
you do that in king or queen and you go up
Right.
to 70.
We go up to 70, and we actually start with, we've actually started a series. It's called the Erin, and it's 60 inches tall. And I like giving our customers are both options. Quite frankly, I like it for me because it gives me a different look. So when I do the 60-inch, I usually put something interesting above it, some art or wallpaper, color. The 70-inch is so tall, there's not too much space afterwards. But the 60-inch allows you to frame even beyond the headboard. So it depends on your taste and the space.
Okay. Now, do you have other types of accessories and things that, you said you help with, or do you just direct people, say, go get a sun mirror, which is a sunburst
Right.
is what I have, or how do you help?
I
in that
don't
way?
do anything outside really the bedroom.
Okay.
I don't know if people realize, but we're sort of known for our huge oversized down-filled inserts. Like you mentioned actually in your podcast, our pillows are large, and that down-filled insert is even larger. Yes, ma'am, that's it.
Okay.
So
I'm holding this up and my YouTube people can see it. And this does not do it justice. Well, let me show this one. I have so many of these. These are the most exquisite pillows I've ever seen in my life. Okay, if everyone can see, I'm going to turn it. Beautiful. Where do you get the textiles? Where are these from?
Okay,
Because I know these are, and Sandra, let me just say this before I want everyone to be clear about why I love this so much, because obviously it's beautiful. It is washable, everyone. It is washable. And I will tell you, and Sandra, you're so classy that this may not be the way you want people to talk about your bedding, but I have a golden doodle.
Yeah.
He is always, he's welcome on top of the bed. And one day, and I have the velvet currently on it, the velvet ivory. And he was a puppy and he threw up all over it. And I didn't let my husband see, but I washed it. Now I also did a video about how to properly wash it, and you can also weigh in.
Mhm.
I spot treated it first with a toothbrush and set, because I don't feel like it's wise to just throw it into the washer without, it came completely out, and that coverlet looks exactly like it's brand new. That is amazing. And I don't know how you all did it, but why don't you share how you managed to get the perfect combination of beautiful and practical?
Well, that's a really nice way of putting it, beautiful and practical. I've had some people tell me quality, luxury, and quality all rolled in one. So the story is, you really start with an idea, a design, an idea. And so in the very, very beginning, I started in India, and I was really fascinated by all of the artisans. India is known for their handwork, and we had the honor to work with a factory that has these artisans, and this skill of doing all that handwork that you saw on that pillow is actually passed on from generation to generation. So we really consider that to be something very special. And so in the very beginning, it was really just accent pillows, and I was predominantly in India, and then we just kept playing, and it was just a creative outlet, right? Mm-hmm. Linens with velvets with linens, silk or a poly silk that looks like silk, sometimes little beads, embroidery. So it was almost like we were making, I said to my team, if this doesn't work out, we're doing evening bags, because these are practically like evening bags. In fact, mm-hmm. With all of beautiful jewels. Uh-huh. So that's where we started. And then I really wanted to get into the quilted business, and I can get quilting out of India. I just stumbled on someone out of China. That was an experience in itself. And what I love about China is that the quality of the quilting, they have these giant quilting machines, and you go wherever people are going to give you the product that you want, right? And no matter where it is. So that quilting ability that I was able to find out of some of those factories is the Chloe ivory. And it's extremely well made. Mm-hmm. So then we work with velvets, and then we work with linens, and then we work with natural and organic fabrics. And sort of that my quilted basics, which is really a huge core of the business, is China. It is. And I have found the right factories. It wasn't easy. It was not easy. And anyway, so then I kind of go all over the world. I have discovered Portugal.
Mhm.
Portugal is another place that is giving us some really interesting opportunities. We're working directly with the mill, so they're weaving the designs for us. And that's where I was able to introduce my organic and my sustainable. So, it's like different parts of the world and
Wow.
finding what they do best and then creating it so it all is one cohesive brand, if you will. So it's been kind of fascinating.
Wow. Well, now I have seen one of my designers years ago brought all of the different swatches. So I've seen the beaded, I've seen the full range. You've got so much. I'm not assuming that all of it is washable, correct? Just what I have.
So everything that's quilted, everything that you sleep on is machine washable, except from one item on my brand, which is called the Lori basket weave. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a very beautiful textured fabric, and it has a weave, and there are ladies that love it to death. That's the only piece that is not machine washable. And I explain that always before we make that sale, that it is, if you've got dogs and kids jumping up and down, that's not the product. But there are ladies that want that fabric because it's got that texture on it. It's a basket weave. It's stunning. So that's the one piece that's not machine washable. Everything that you sleep on my brand, other than the Lori basket weave, is machine washable. So that's number one. The accent pillows, like you saw just now, because those are made by hand, and those are 2 or 3 pieces of fabric that have been cut out in a particular pattern and have been sewn or appliqued on, just like this. This is a nice example. So that is not machine washable. Okay, because it's done by hand, you've got 2 different fabrics going on. But those are decorative pillows, and you don't really need those to be machine washables.
Oh, no. And if dogs and babies are going to be on the bed, just take these off. Just
right. And actually that pillow is a very durable pillow because of the fabric.
Well, it's stunning. Now, can you tell me how you've got people, factories or people, artisans all over the world? Do they just ship after they've done their
it's a long, I'm sorry to interrupt. It is a long process. So we create the design, the look, the feel, the vibe, the whole thing. We create, and I have Craig, who's not here right now, who's been with me since day one. So the days we were working out of my house, and he's a master in putting all of our designs on, graphically. We give them every single detail. Factory reproduces that for me. So then that sample, and this is a collection, takes almost a year. Okay, It really does. We're lucky, and we have been moving pretty fast on our collections. But because they need to design it. They start sending us images. We look through images, and then we start saying, I need to see that in person. I can't make that decision. So we go back and forth. Then we may have a series of accent pillows that comes back with that collection. And some of those we keep, some of those we don't. It's a long, fun, very, very in-depth process to make it all happen. But yeah, we're actually creating collections that all work together from all over the world, really.
Wow.
Yes.
It is fun. Now, I have got, I guess everything that I have, Sandra, it's all quilted. Okay, I will tell you this, and you can respond with okay, you probably know I haven't even opened this. I'm saving it for when our house gets done. This is a King Chloe padded ivory velvet. And I have a similar one now. So that's washable.
It is a machine washable. So we actually named it a comfortlet, like a coverlet, and a quilt pulled together. Or remember the old comforters that we all had in the 70s?
Oh, yeah.
And then the coverlet, we named that particular piece comfortlet. What is so cool about that, when you could tell from the size of your package, is it's already padded. So you do not need to put a duvet insert in it. And we kind of created that because customers were asking us, they wanted it to have some fullness, but they didn't really want to be dealing with the duvet insert. So that's when the comfortlet was born.
Okay. I didn't know that's what it was, but now I know why I love it.
Yeah.
I hate a duvet.
Yeah.
I hate that. They are a nightmare. I don't know if introduce me to someone who loves them. You can't keep them in place. I mean, I just don't like them. And this comfortlet.
That's what you said.
Oh my goodness. I even had someone sew a duvet into a duvet cover, like sew it all over, and I still didn't like it. They're just not, to me, practical, and they just don't work. But this comfortlet is perfect. Okay, what is your most popular? Do you have a brand? I'm sorry, a line that's your most popular?
You're not going to believe it. It's the Chloe Ivory. It's what you bought.
I would think. I mean,
the Chloe Ivory was the first collection that I did, my God, 11, 12 years ago in velvet. I started with linens. My first velvet collection was Chloe. My first color was ivory. I started with ivory fawn, and started with ivory, champagne, and silver. We only had 3 colors. And the line was very small and we were just growing. And of course, Chloe Ivory became #1. But now it blows me away with as much as we have developed and evolved into. We have so many different categories, and you can do organic and you can do linens. Chloe Ivory is still the #1. That's kind of blows my mind a little bit. Yeah.
Well, it's beautiful. I love it. Now, is Chloe is always going to be the padded, and is it always going to be velvet, or does it come in different?
So the Chloe is actually, we started it with the quilted piece. When you have that quilted piece, I believe you talked about that in your previous podcast. Yeah. That one is the padded. It's the same fabric as the velvet, but it's the comfortlet, which is the padded. So the quilted piece is my Chloe quilted, and that is the one item. And that quilted piece, we've talked about a little bit. When I'm recommending to do a bed, I always say start from the basic. You create the foundation of the bed, and the foundation is always the quilted coverlets. So whether it's linen or it's velvet or it's a silky fabric, it is the quilted pieces you're going to keep as a base, and then you can always mix and match and kind of change it up a little bit. But that quilted piece, we make it to last, and then you can change it up and have a fresher look later if you want to change colors or whatever. So I really think the most important purchase you're going to make is your quilted coverlet. And then what I always recommend, and people have different ways, is the 2 Luxe Euros, which are the 2 oversized Luxe Euros, 27 by 36. And I put those up against the headboard, and I refer to that as it's framing the bed. It frames the bed, and then you work in.
Now, is that king and queen that you do the 2 Luxe Euros?
So big. I put 2 on a queen. They're big. They kind of almost fill up. And
That's
then
what I have.
And you only need 2 on a king. You have a little bit more space. Obviously, the king is wider, but you don't need 3. And I liked it also because with the Euros, you need 3. And so it's actually one less purchase. So I always start with the Luxe Euros in the back. That's how I like building the bed. And then I build in front of that. With that pillows.
Okay. Well, what I want you to do, if you will, all of those listening who are watching, who want to know, where do I start? I want to make a beautiful bed. I want it to be right, because, there's a process.
Right.
And we're just going to act like no one likes duvets. So we're just going to do it without. So can you just tell us, let's just say everyone has their mattress and their, obviously the box spring. Now, can you just speak to, because I know when I was, before I got my current bed, which is a tall headboard with the frame, the platform, so I don't have a skirt. Before that, I had a king that was raised up, and it had this long skirt. What is the trend today, and skirt, no skirt, and where do you think it's going from here?
So in the beginning, all of us had our regular beautiful headboard and just that regular frame without having the rails. Now, like the bed I think that you have, when you have those rails, it covers that box spring, and you do not need that skirt any longer. All right. To me, the trend is going away from skirts. That's what I envision. That's what I see, because people, more and more beds, almost every bed you see has the entire frame as the rails on each side and at the foot. So you're buying an entire bed. Then in skirts, you have 2 options. If you have a skirt, you have a beautiful gathered skirt, more romantic, more, just flows beautifully. It does look beautiful. And then there's a very tailored skirt, which has just we do ours, which is a single pleat in the middle of each side, and then in the middle of the foot of the bed. Skirts are beautiful. We do them with all the collections. We always have a skirt that you can mix and match, because a lot of times, like that master bedroom may have that new bed frame, but some of the other bedrooms may not. So there's always someone who's going to need a skirt.
Right. And do you have different, I know mine had to be custom made because it was like 22 inches. It was an odd, do y'all have one length or do you have several?
So we have one length that adjusts, and it's very generous. So we just came up with something. I did not invent this idea. So our bed skirts are 3 individual skirts. They're not sewn to that top, which they call a deck.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's so much easier, because before you have to pick up that heavy mattress. You need 2 people to help you do that. Then you put the bed skirt on there, and then that length has to be perfect, right? Exactly. So what we created is a skirt. So the skirt is 22 inches. I mean, it's deep. And then I can send images to show people. Then we have from the skirt, there's like a 6-inch flange, if you will. Okay. So we provide straight pins, very thick pins. They're T-pins. And we actually have a little video on tips on how to prop up the mattress. Okay, because if you say you're by yourself and you don't have anybody helping you, there's a way to prop up the mattresses, and then you start at one side and you start pinning the skirt, and you can adjust the length.
That's wonderful.
And you have all the fabric in the world that you're going to need. I mean, it really, that one skirt works for a king, it works for a queen, and it's got all the length, or you can shorten it by pinning it up a little bit. So it's kind of magic.
Okay, I'm ordering one. My daughter is at Auburn, her 3rd year, and she took, because she has an apartment now, took her bed, took her headboard. So I'm about to order bedding, and I'm going to get that because I'm probably not going to get her the platform bed. But now, when you say the platform bed, and I know what it is because I have one, but it's like, it's all one piece, and the sides are, whether they're upholstered or whatever, and you just put your mattress in those, and you don't have a skirt because the platform covers the mattress. You're thinking that that's sort of the trend moving forward. That's sort of what people are moving toward. So at least for the master.
Yes. What your question is that the trend? I think, yes, it is. There's 2 ways that there's a platform where there's no need for a box frame. Right? Because you have it all padded and it's railed. It's beautiful. It's the same probably upholstery or the same wood as on the headboard. And you just put the mattress on top. The way we make ours is the rail. It's the rails. And then we have slats underneath. They're beautifully made. And then you put the box spring on top of the slats. And then so that railing is covering that box spring. Okay. On the side and then I put the mattress on top of that.
Okay. Now, does it accommodate an adjustable mattress?
Our bed, if they need a king size adjustable, I'd have to work with, because every manufacturer is different, right? So you have to work and find out what the foundation is on that adjustable. You know what I'm saying? Usually those beds already have their own framing. I mean, we can design anything, but I have to find out about that particular product and how it's made. Okay. Right. And chances are those adjustable beds already have their framing on it. So that's kind of like depending on that particular brand, how they make it. But there's those adjustable beds where it's really like a split king. One back on one side. So we're just started out adding split kings and cow kings to our sheeting program. So because there are more and more people that want that. So you can buy a split king from us in our sheeting assortment.
Oh, I love that, because we have a split king. We have a sleep number, and we have split king because I've realized very early on that that there is a split just at the top, but where the bottom stays normal. My husband and I were not getting on the same page with the movement. So now we have a split king. Wonderful. So now, okay. All right. Well, Sandra, tell us, I want you to just tell us, we're buying a bed. Okay. What do we need? And start to finish, the essentials.
Okay. So the first, I'm going to tell you what I would, if I'm working with you for the first time, I'm going to ask you a little bit. Do you want white? Do you want off-white? Do you need a strong color? That's the first question. We want to get color figured out. Okay. And then I want to get fabrics figured out. Do you like, our velvets are washable, they're beautiful, but do you need a linen? So what I start narrowing that down. And that's pretty easy. That takes 1-2 questions, and then now you know. So then let's talk about a linen, regardless if it's linen or velvet. You need your sheeting program. So you want your fitted sheet, right? And your flat sheet, and then your pillowcases. So I do the fitted, obviously. The very next thing is the flat. And I do the flat where when you turn it back, you see the pretty embroidery.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a little tip. And then I usually, if you buy a king set from me, you have 2 king pillowcases in the set. Okay. A lot of couples have a standard pillow and a king pillow there. I know I do. So you can also buy the standard pillowcase to match that collection separately. Okay. So you want to get the sheeting program figured out.
Okay.
The very next thing you need is your quilted coverlet base. So let's say we'll stay in the neutrals, and let's say it's going to be in the natural. Okay, so we've been talking about white and ivory. So the natural dawn coverlet goes next. I put it on the bed, and then I kind of fold it over, and then the flat sheet folds over that. That's how I like doing it. Okay. So now you've got your quilted coverlet, and that quilted coverlet is an investment purchase. Feel that way. Buy that neutral color. Buy that color that is going to be a base that you can mix and match on top all day long and change things out. But that's that base is going to carry you a long ways. And that's why we make them really, really durable. And then the next thing I do, I've got my pillow sheets in the back, and I stand them up when I'm making the bed. Then I put in my 2 Luxe Euros, the 2 giant Luxe Euros, and that's what I call framing the bed. So in terms of the textiles, it's a quilted coverlet and 2 Luxe Euros. Once you have that, you've started the foundation.
Now, will a comfortlet be the same as a quilted coverlet, or is that's a little different?
Two different things.
Two different things. Okay, so if somebody's saying, "Well, I want to do this," you need to do it right. You need a quilted coverlet base. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, and go, and you're advising everyone, and I agree with this. Get something neutral and add pops of color other places, because this is it's a one-time.
It's an investment. You're going to be able. It's that basic little black dress. It's that white cotton shirt. It's that basic that you're going to mix and match with so many other things. So that's what I usually keep it neutral. Okay. So once you've got your quilted coverlet, okay, and you've got your Luxe Euros, then you look a little. I'm looking a little bit more now into what is the whole bed going to look like. So I have wonderful accent pillows, if I say so myself. And I of course, we make we have our European pillows, but are kind of oversized. And I put 2 of them there. And that's where I'm getting color. That's where I'm getting some details, some fashion trend, if you will. And whatever your color, whatever your style is, we're going to have it for you. That's one thing, whether it's neutral or it's very organic or it's very casual or it's just the wow factor, which is velvets and luxurious. We're going to have that for you. That's sort of how we evolve the brand. So I come back with 2 large Euros usually. And then I tell people you could stop there and of course do something on the foot of the bed. And then
Sandra, let me make sure, because I want to make sure, and I'm going to write this down. It's going to be show notes for everyone. Okay. But we're at 4 Euros right now. We have the 2 Luxe, which I have and I love, and I know there are going to be people, because I sort of went back and forth with my designer at the time. She said, we're going to do 2 Luxe. And I said, well, let's just do 3 of or I tried to do the smaller traditional. And she says, no, let's do. It's so much better. Those big, they're just more of a statement, and you're just having to buy 2. So you're saying it's non-negotiable, 2 Luxe Euros. Then you're saying 2
Euros, 2 of the squares.
2 of the
Luxe are rectangular. They're big rectangular. And now like I say, you frame the bed, and then you can come in with accent pillows in front. That Euro that you have right there, you could put 2 right there in front of the 2 Luxe Euros. I think you only need 2. Then you can have fun. Then you could actually stop with just those 2 Euros. Or you could do like a square, a smaller square and a 14 by 22 for that to kind of finish it off. Or a lot of times we do a long rectangular in front of those €2. And that's like
what you call a bolster?
it could have been a bolster is the circle. It was actually round. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a long rectangular. It could almost be like a king sham, a king velvet piece that you put in front of it. So, and we have decorative pillows that are large rectangular. We have faux furs. I mean, we have in the velvets, you could put a diamond quilted velvet luxe euro. It just, the options are, many options. So you can really do it with that long rectangular, but it's a large piece, and then you're done. You don't need any more pillows. And then it's just, but to me, what I want to explain is with our brand, we really offer that basic piece that you're going to do as what I'm going to call a lifetime purchase, and then we offer so many. It's almost like fashion. It's so many fun decorative pillows that you get to be creative. You get to create your look, just like you do your art. Just like you do your handbags and your shoes, you get to create it. So, and we offer lots of options there.
Now, on the quilted coverlet base, so as far as the bedding that is, all the way from the foot to the head, we just have our sheets and our quilted coverlet base. Okay. What else do some people do if they really want to add layers? I know some people for a while, I had the duvet at the end of the bed, but it kept falling off, and king is heavy, so I don't do that anymore. But what are some other great ideas that you could share with people who want a little more?
And I do think you need a little more. I think that foot of the bed needs something, otherwise it gets a little too squarish. A couple of things: the comfortlet that you have, which is the Chloe velvet, it's like a duvet, right? But it's already padded, so it's very luxurious, and it's got that fullness to it. Yeah. And it comes in, I think, 5 colors. So you can fold that at the foot of the bed, and now that bed's complete. So the comfortlet's an idea. Okay. We do duvets on all of our collections. I will tell you one trick on the duvets and the duvet insert saga is our duvet insert is way oversized. So when it is stuffed in that duvet, it doesn't move because it's so much larger. And I mean, we're talking like when you measure it, it's 3 or 4 inches wider. Okay. So the reason why it's frustrating for all of us that had those duvets is that duvet insert moved because it didn't fill up the inside of the duvet. It was loose.
And you've always got that flat ends that don't have. Oh my goodness.
So it's simple. So we just did oversized duvet insert. I mean, big oversized, and they're luxurious. They move, they're flexible. It just makes it puffier. So that was our trick. That was a little trick for that. And so the duvet, and I'm very particular how that duvet looks. I don't want it too flat. I don't want it too full. I don't want it lumpy. We test all those little things with all the fabrics. So with us, especially the Portuguese fabrics lately, the sustainable fabrics, they drape so pretty. And then when you fill it up, it just looks stunning, and it's comfortable. It's not awkward. But I've had awkward before, and I understand the frustration. Yeah. So you can do the comfortlet. You can do that duvet with our duvet inserts. And then lately, what everyone's been doing is they get another quilted coverlet, and they fold it like a duvet, and they layer it over the foot of the bed. And now you have 2 coverlets that you get to change out. Because you're going to pick a color that coordinates, right?
Oh, so another quilted coverlet.
And you fold it. So I'll send you images so you can see the different ways. And so now it becomes when you do that quilted coverlet, fold it very neatly. And now it starts to look very modern, like a very clean line, right? So like what we did in one of our collections, I did that quilted, starting with the foundation, the quilted natural linen hemp duvet was natural, and then I put a velvet, and it was in my buff velvet over it. So all those tones work together, and it's introducing a little richer color on the foot of the bed. And of course, the pillows work back with it. So that's where you get to be creative.
Oh, do you have on your website all of the different ways that you can make the bed, or just all the images that people can look at? Okay.
I have the images, and oddly enough, we just did a video. We just did our big annual photo shoot, and we did videos of showing the different ways to layer. So that's coming. That's coming. And I'll
Oh.
be sure to send that to you as soon as,
Oh,
yeah.
you send that to me and I'll put that on
Yes.
my website as well,
Yes.
and link to you all. So, I mean, you have shown exactly how to do this. And what would you say to someone maybe who's starting out, maybe newlyweds? Now, of course, I would say put all this on your registry, put these kind of things on your registry.
Right.
You will use this way more than you'll use a lot of the fine china possibly that you're registering. If you have to say, okay, start here and then maybe make a wish list, would you say start with the sheets, or would you say just start out with, just basic sheets and just go ahead and get that quilted coverlet base?
I would
Just
say
for
the
someone.
quilted-
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I would say you can get the sheets any place. They're not going to be
Yeah.
my sheets, but if you wanted to, or someone's going to give you a set of sheets from someplace else, the quilted coverlet and the 2 luxe euros is the #1 purchase. That's what I would say.
Yeah. And that's your foundation. And after that, it's creativity.
Correct. That's
Okay.
exactly it. Yeah.
Goodness. Okay. Now, I did see, and I don't know if it's still going on, and of course, by the time this goes out, it won't be, that y'all had a Labor Day sale.
Still going on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'll be doing when we get off, is going and buying for that room. Okay. So when you have a sale, okay, that's your site. Is every site that sells Lili Alessandra doing the same thing, or do you need to shop at all the different places to make sure how does that work?
All right. So what we do with our e-commerce sites is we give them all the dates that they can run our product on sale. Okay, it can only be during we have 5 sales a year. It's during the cyber sales, not every cyber sale, but Mother's Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, and then Black Friday. And it's always a 2-week period. So we're on sale only 5 times a year. Okay. And we're 20% off. So all my e-commerce people have to, agree with us that these are the dates that they are allowed, that we approve for them to discount our product, because it's a promotion. And so everybody's on the same dates.
So does it matter to you where someone purchases, or it doesn't
No.
matter? Okay.
No, actually, we encourage them to shop with their friend. If they have some people just want to go to Neiman's, or some people just, they have Bloomies. They're comfortable. They know how it works. And I do the same thing. I go to certain sites. I'm comfortable with that site. I don't have to work my way through it, so I think everybody kind of tends to go through that. They want to go to my site, no problem. But I encourage people, it's all our product, the vendors, those internet people, for example, they buy from me, or all those specialty stores, they buy from me as well. So it's one big happy family.
And it all ships out from your main. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if someone is listening and they are getting married, or they have a daughter or granddaughter getting married, where can you set up a registry for this kind of thing? Because what are I think Neiman, you can do a registry, Bloomingdale's.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, I actually don't have one on my website, but we have always, as a group, talked that that's probably something that we're missing now. If someone comes to me and says, I want to pick certain items for a registry, because I believe there's registries now, like these young couples have their own website, kind of, that they were able to go in. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are doing that. So we can provide images for anyone, and we would also offer consultation. Say, why don't we'll give you some recommendations of items that you should start with. And there will be basics, predominantly basics. They'll be well priced. And they'll be, if you buy these, you're going to start the beginning of your bedding collections, if you will. So we probably need to do a better job of suggesting that, because I think it happens, but we're not set up on the website to do that. Anyone who you might know, we can consult with them. We can send them links, and we can send them images. And then, as it would require that website to make the purchase come directly to us. So I don't have all the mechanics figured out, but we're pretty open-minded around here. So if somebody came to us with an idea, we would pursue it.
Well, I think that what a great thing to gift someone is just the beautiful, luxurious, basic bedding, setup, because wow, your bedroom, if you've got a beautiful bed, that's about all you need, just a few more pieces, and it's
True.
beautiful. But okay, Sandra, this has been absolutely so informative and so intriguing. And I just want to reiterate for someone maybe who didn't hear at the beginning, that anyone who maybe doesn't have a designer or decorator, doesn't really feel that comfortable just ordering and making their own, bed, creating their own bed, to call. What is your number? I'm going to put links to all this. And you said the girls, you've got several designers, decorators.
Yes.
That
Right.
will, and you send a picture, and y'all just actually,
We create the
consult.
bed, we help them, we consult. So they can call our office, 210-534-6800,
Okay.
or they can email us, and that would be sales, SALES, @lilialessandra.com.
How do you spell? I'm thinking
Lili, Lily, that was my mom's name, Lily, and then Alessandra, ALESSANDRA.
Okay. That is wonderful. That's worth everything, because you're basically getting free design consultation.
Right, exactly.
That's just amazing. Well, Sandra, is there anything else before we go that you would like to say to anyone who might be watching or listening, just about your product or what your mission or where you're headed before we go? Anything you'd like to say?
I think we've touched about everything. We're very passionate about what we do. We love what we do, and we're always evolving. My brand is not that old. We started the company in 2008. And there's been all kinds of journeys along the way, but our goal and our desire is to make something beautiful, but also something that you can live in. The kids can jump up and down, it's going to be machine washable, and that it's going to last, that it's, it's an investment piece. And then adding all the fun colors and velvets, so we try to have a very broad scale to things. And that's just sort of our passion. We want it to be creative. We want people to feel creative when they're creating the bed. And we offer mixtures of fabrics and colors. And so I think it should be fun.
Well, I just love it. And I'm going to link to everything. And your website is lilialessandra.com.
Correct.
So and then you are on Instagram and you're on Facebook. So everyone check out Lili Alessandra. It's the best bedding I've ever seen or had. And I'm not in the market for any more unless it comes from you, because dogs and babies, who can live without them, as well as a beautiful bed. So you don't have to compromise with your wonderful bedding. So thank you, Sandra. I'm so grateful. And you are welcome back anytime you have anything new to share.
All right. I loved it. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
And you have a wonderful time in Paris.
I will.
Okay.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.